Let's talk money today. Money, money, money. They say money can't buy happiness, but there's one thing for sure. It can really make happiness much easier to attain. But that's beside the point. Today I want to talk about money market investments, or as many of us know them, unit trusts. Now, I'll give you an analogy. Think of a cake. What goes into a cake? Ingredients. You have eggs, you have the cake mix, you have the butter, you have the sugar, you have the flavor. Personally, I'm a chocolate kind of guy. All these things factored in at the end of the day make the cake. Now, why is this important? This is important because a unit trust is a cake. It is a cake of pooled in money. Assuming there's 5 of us, me and my 5 friends, we decide, let's invest in buying a hotel. I come with 1 million Kenyan shillings. My other friend comes with 500,000 Kenyan shillings. And down the line, we collect our money. Now we take our pooled money and go and invest it in buying a hotel. Now, assuming I was alone, would you think my 1 million Kenyan shillings would have built a hotel alone? That's just an example. Now, money market instruments are securities that we can invest in the short term. They include treasury bills, they include bank deposits, and any short-term fixed interest rates securities. Maybe I can go from the beginning. What is an interest rate? Now, an interest rate is any return that you receive from giving out money. Assuming you gave your friend 1,000 Kenyan shillings and they told you, Kevin, I'll pay you back at the end of a week, but instead of 1,000 shillings, I'll give you 1,100 shillings. Now that 100 shillings is the interest. I am interested in getting that money. That is the basic concept of an interest rate. Now, money market funds operate this way. They're short-term assets that get you an interest over a short period of time. Can be 91 days, that's 3 months. Can be 1 each 2 days, that's half a year. And who knows, a year is a short time to go by. There's also unit trust investments that invest up to 1 year. Now, to summarize, a unit trust is a collection of money by individuals into a fund to invest in a specified objective. Now, the key question, rather, the key analogy that we need to remember as investors is the return and the risk. Sit back, ask yourself, what kind of person am I? Do I like risk? Am I a risky taker? Or do I want to see my money grow from a space that is riskless and quite secure? Now this is where the money market fund comes in. It is basically a collection of money by individuals into a fund that invests in assets that bear interest. The money on top of what you've invested in. As humans, there is a nature that comes to us, a nature that speaks to us about bonds. This is a basic joining of 2 elements. Any agreement between 2 individuals is a bond. It may be written down, it may be inherent, you know at the back of your head, but all in all, these are bonds. Now, speaking of bonds, these are assets that give you a fixed income. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're in a chama. There's 4 of you. That means if you contribute money today, at the end of the 3rd month, you'll be receiving your share. That is your fixed income. At the end of this period, I will get a level of money that is consummated to what I've put in. There's 4 of you in the group. Every month, 1,000 shillings. The person who takes the kit at home at the end of the month, they get 4,000 shillings. Well, they get 3,000 shillings, but on top of what they put in as well. So that is a fixed income. Now, to a larger scale, a bond is basically an agreement between 2 individuals that one will lend the money on a specific date for a specific time at a specific interest rate. And at the end of this period, they'll get paid back their money. Now, let me be practical. Assuming, again, your friend, he has money problems. He comes to you. He says, Kevin, give me 10,000 shillings. No, lend me 10,000 shillings. You tell them, fine, I can lend you this money, but there are conditions. One, time. I want you to repay me in 3 months. That is our tenure. Two, I want you to repay me, instead of 10,000 shillings, I want 15,000 shillings. Now that difference is your interest. Are you interested in lending this person money? What level of interest do you have in it? And three, at the end of the period, I receive what I initially gave you. So in this example, my friend comes to me, says, Kevin, hard times, 10,000 shillings. Would you please? I give him 10,000 shillings. I tell him at the end of 3 months, I expect 15,000 shillings. And this is an agreement. Now, this is the basic definition of a bond. Now, bonds exist in 3 forms in our country. One is the government bond. I do not know how many of us have heard of the Akiba product. Now, the Akiba product is basically the government borrowing money from the Kenyans at an interest rate that they will pay back through their phones. As we said earlier, it is an agreement between 2 people, 2 individuals, 2 institutions, the government and the Kenyans. We need some money to build some roads, to build up hospitals, infrastructure. Lend us this money and we'll pay you back over a period with interest. That is a bond from the government of Kenya. The second kind of bond is called the supranational bond. Now, what is a supranational bond? I know the word can be confusing because initially you think it's a supranational bond, but no, it's a supranational bond. This is a bond that is issued by international organizations. I'll give you an example. As a Kenyan, have you ever heard of the word Eurobond? What is a Eurobond? A Eurobond is money that us as Kenyans have borrowed through our government from international bodies so that we can develop ourselves. Now, I know I am not a party to discuss what happened to the Eurobond, but the basic definition is that this is basically money that is borrowed from entities that are from across the world. Finally, the third example of bonds is the corporate bond. Now, think of a company. I'll give you an example. Think of Nakumat. Anything you needed, they had it. What was the business model? Remember, now we're talking about lending someone money. Now, before you lend someone money, you need to know something very important about them. Their credit worthiness. Is this someone that has the credit worthiness that can pay me back? What level of financial stability do they have? Speaking of paying back, when you give someone money, when you lend someone your funds, there is an expectation that they will use these funds to the advantage of them paying you back. This is a basic assumption. Now, what comes after this? This is the risk. As any investor, as I've said before, the key comparative is between risk and return. To what level of risk are you willing to get in to get a level of return? They say high risk, high demand. Low risk, similarly, low demand. Now, when a company comes to you and says, we want some money, we're looking for investors in us, please lend us some money so that we can develop our projects. Nakumat, they went to investors, they said, we want to make our company grow. We want to be the leading retail chain across Eastern Central Africa. Lend us your money. They received money. What they did with the money is still being accounted for. But that was a level of corporate bonds. They were looking for funds, they borrowed, and they received. That is a generic understanding of money ownership between 2 people, 2 organizations.